Hello, welcome to E3 STEM Academy. This is Dr. Vani, and today we'll be learning about multiplying polynomials. First of all, make sure that you are clear and confident in adding and subtracting polynomials. If you are still having any difficulty, do not hesitate to go watch the video on adding and subtracting polynomials. Once you're clear with addition and subtraction, multiplication of polynomials is going to be very easy. Today, let's see how to multiply polynomials.
6v times 2v plus 3. So I have two polynomials here. 6v is one polynomial. 2v plus 3 is another polynomial. So to be more specific, 6v is a monomial. 2v plus 3 is a binomial. So I want to multiply these two polynomials, or in other words, I want to find the product. So I want to find the product of these two polynomials. In this case, it is pretty simple. I'm simply going to distribute 6v to each of the terms in the other polynomial. So I'm going to multiply 6v times 2v, and I'm going to multiply 6v times 3. So let's go ahead and multiply. 6v times 2v. 6 times 2 is 12. V times v. I'm multiplying v times v. V times v is v squared. How do I get that? If you notice here, the exponent of v is 1, or the power of v is 1, and the power of v here is 1 as well. So when you're multiplying, you're going to add the two powers, add the two exponents. So v times v is going to be v squared plus 6 times 3 is 18, and v is simply going to be v, because here there is no variable. That means this is v to the power of 0. So 1 plus 0 is simply 1. So it's going to be 18v. So the product of these two variables, 6v, I'm sorry, not two variables, I meant two polynomials. 6v times 2v plus 3 is 12v squared plus 18v. So this is your product. Is that clear to you all? If it's clear, then I want you to try this problem. 2x times negative 2x minus 3. Go ahead and find the product. Let's take a look at it. So I'm going to distribute 2x to each of the terms in this polynomial, right? So I'm going to distribute 2x to negative 2x and 2x to negative 3. So let's go ahead and multiply. 2 times negative 2 is going to be negative 4. X times x. What did I say? When I say x, that is 1 here, and here also the exponent is 1. So I'm adding the exponent. So x times x is going to be x squared. Then I'm going to multiply 2x times negative 3. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And here there is no x, right? So next to 3, which means that this is x to the 0th power. So I'm going to add 1 plus 0 is 1. So this is going to be x to the power of 1, which means that it is simply x. So 2x times negative 3x is negative 3 is negative 6x. If you think putting x to the power of 0 is confusing, you can just remove this, and it is simply going to be 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, and you put the x, so that's going to be negative 6x. So the product is negative 4x squared minus 6x. Is that clear? Okay, let's try another problem. But this time we're going to do something slightly different. 6k plus 5 times 5k plus 5. Now this time I have two binomials, right? Because they have two terms. Each one of these polynomials have two terms in them. So these are two binomials, and I want to multiply the two binomials. So it's the same thing. We are still going to distribute. Okay, we are going to follow the same process, but now you have to be little more careful when you're distributing. Okay, so I'm going to distribute 6k to both the terms, and I'm also going to distribute 5 plus 5 to both the terms. All right, so let's see how to do that. So I'm going to first multiply 6k times 5k. 6 times 5 is 30. K times k is k squared. Then I'm going to multiply 6k times 5. So 5 times 6 is 30k, right? Plus, now I'm going to multiply with 5. 5 times 5k is going to be 25k, plus 5 times 5 is going to be 25. Now I notice that there are like terms. So I see that there is 30k and 25k. So I'm going to add those. I'm going to combine them, right? When I combine them, I will get 30k squared plus 30 plus 25 is 55k plus 25. So the product of these two binomials is 30k squared plus 55k plus 25. I hope this is clear, guys.
Here is another example. 4a plus 2 times 6a squared minus a plus 2. If you notice, we are multiplying a binomial with a trinomial. The strategy is still the same. So we're going to first distribute 4a to each of the terms inside the parentheses. When I say distribute, that means we are simply multiplying. And then we are going to distribute 2 to each of the terms in the other polynomial. So 4a times 6a squared. First, let's multiply the coefficients. So 6 times 4 is 24. And when it comes to the variable, look at the exponents. So this is a to the power of 1 and this is a to the power of 2. So we're going to add the exponents when we are multiplying, right? So 2 plus 1, that's going to be 3. So it is 24a cubed. The same way, we're going to multiply 4a times negative a. So 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. A times a, so that's going to be 1 plus 1, so it's going to be a to the power of 2, or a squared. Now we're going to multiply 4a times 2. So 2 times 4 is 8, and there's only A, so it's going to be A plus, and let's go ahead and distribute 2. 2 times 6 is 12A squared. 2 times negative A is going to be negative 2A. 2 times 2 is going to be 4. Now, let's go ahead and combine like terms. So there is only one A cubed term, so that's going to simply remain as 24A cubed. If you notice, you see two A squared terms, so I'm going to add those. So it's going to be negative 4A squared plus 12A squared, so that's going to give us plus 8A squared. 8A minus 2A is plus 6A plus 4. Here you go. You have the product. So the product of that binomial and trinomial is a polynomial with 4 terms. I hope this is clear. Let's take a look at another example. 7r squared minus 6r minus 6 times 2r minus 4. Now it is your turn. Go ahead, pause the video, and try this yourself. All right, so I hope you have tried the problem first. Now let's go ahead and do it together. So I'm going to distribute 7r squared to each of the terms inside the other polynomial. Same way, I'm going to distribute negative 6r to each of the terms. Then I'm going to distribute negative 6 to each of the terms. Let's go ahead and now carry out the operation. So 7r squared times 2r. 7 times 2 is 14. R squared times r. So 2 plus 1, that is going to be 3. So 14r cubed. Now I'm going to multiply 7r squared times 4. So negative 4. So it's going to be minus 7 times 4 is 28 r squared. Now I'm going to multiply negative 6r times 2r. So that's going to be negative 12r squared, because 1 plus 1 is going to be 2. So negative 12r squared. I'm going to distribute negative 6, or I'm going to multiply negative 6r times negative 4. So that's going to be positive 24r. Be careful. Negative times negative is positive. So that's going to be positive 24r. Now I'm going to distribute negative 6. Negative 6 times 2r is going to be negative 12r. Negative 6 times negative 4 is going to be positive 24. Once you are done distributing, now you're going to add like terms. So I'm going to add, well, I see that there is only one r cubed term, so I'm going to keep that term as it is. I see two r squared terms, so I'm going to go ahead and combine them. So there is negative 28r squared, negative 12r squared, and that is going to be negative 40r squared. Then I also see that there are two r terms. So I see 24r minus 12r. So 24r minus 12r is plus 12r plus 24, because there's only one constant. So the product of this trinomial and this binomial is a polynomial with 4 terms. Another thing, if you observe, the degree of this given polynomial, the trinomial, is 2. The degree of the binomial is 1. And the product of those two the polynomial has a degree of 3. So I want you to pay attention to that concept as well. I hope multiplication is clear to you. Be careful when you're multiplying. Remember that positive times positive is positive. Positive times positive is positive. Positive times negative is negative. Negative times negative is again positive. If you're clear with signs and if you multiply carefully, then multiplication of polynomials is pretty simple. Hope this video has helped you understand the concept, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye.